So theoretically, as of this very moment,
Yeah.
the Patreon is live. Yeah.
You mean the Patreon that's at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
That's the one I'm talking about.
The
yeah,
Patreon
the one
that's going to allow us to continue to make this podcast and turn it into even more of a thing than it already is.
Yeah, the one that is the life's blood of the show, and that for us to maintain it, people need to go visit.
The one that's going to help me feed all of my illegitimate children.
You have a lot of I was shocked. The photos alone.
If they all give $1, if every one of my
each of your
illegitimate children gives $1,
you can feed them.
I can feed. It's kind of like a multi-level marketing Amway sort of circular top-down.
We call it trickle-up economics.
Yeah, everything trickles back up to daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is We Have Concerns. I'm Jeff Cannata.
And I'm Anthony Carboni. And there's been a lot of nasty stuff going on in the world recently that kind of reminds us of the frailty and fragility of human life and just how easy it is for us to be unkind to one another.
No joke. It's been a rough week.
We just want to say you have a very short amount of time on this earth. You can only exert a certain amount of influence over it. You only have a certain number of actions in your turn.
Yeah.
And just be mindful of your decisions and thoughtful, and be sure that you're making the sort of decisions that you want to be making.
I heard the best quote I'd never heard before. It's been around a long time, but I'd never heard it. Today you, tomorrow me. I love that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So, you're out there listening. Just know we like you guys a lot.
Yeah.
And we want the best for you. And go out there and make decisions that show that you want the best for other people as well.
Yeah.
Like building a salmon cannon, maybe.
That's a segue to salmon cannons.
No, you know what, man? This thing is weird. So in Washington State, salmon have to swim upstream to spawn.
Yes.
That's what they got to do.
That's a salmon's thing,
That's
man.
the salmon way.
Yeah.
So the problem is we need to control the flow of water because we're sort of the dominant species on Earth. Sorry, salmon.
Human way.
That's the human way. We have to dominate. So the deal is we've been building dams and controlling water flow, and there are these points where salmon just can't get upstream. It's physically impossible. And in the past, we've been doing all of these insane things.
Like loading salmon onto a helicopter and helicoptering them over a dam?
I feel like helicopters are for magnates to make multi-billion-dollar decisions. They are for military teams to get in and out of sensitive areas. They are for children who need heart transplants within 5 minutes.
They're for Magnum PI's best friend.
They're for Magnum PI's best friend. And then I guess they're for fish. They're for fish commutes.
Yeah,
that sounds like really inefficient.
I will say, though, if you're a fish and you are there to fertilize some eggs, might as well take a helicopter. Am I right? Like
that's going to impress the other fish.
Lady fish is going to want all her eggs fertilized by the helicoptered in fish, man.
That's just, you know what, man? That's just overcompensating. And all the other salmon can tell. All the other salmon are like, oh, God, look at Wally. Again with the helicopter.
That guy is such a douche. I swam here.
How do they fall for that? How do they fall for that
look
time?
Look at Sally. She's just throwing her eggs at him.
Don't do it, man. You know better. You know he was in that helicopter with 30 other salmon last week.
I've been wooing that chick for like 3 weeks. And with my lifespan, 3 weeks is a lot of commitment.
This is Dave Wallace for National Geographic. I'm here at the side of the stream where the strangest phenomenon is happening. Salmon everywhere are sprouting fedoras and goatees. Talking about salmon rights. These salmon have Reddit accounts. They've been voted by all marine biologists as the worst fish in the sea. So it was helicopters. We were putting them into trucks.
Yeah.
We were doing all kinds of crazy things to keep salmon going because, listen, man, we like salmon. We like to eat a lot of salmon. Salmon's delicious.
Salmon.
We got to keep that salmon train
Fertilize
rolling.
them eggs, salmon.
What are you going to do?
Girl.
What are you going to do when you go to a semi-fancy, not really fancy restaurant and you want to order the specials?
Yeah. You going to order some trout? No.
F that. Tilapia?
No.
Don't you put
Don't
tilapia in front of me, you bastard. You bet. So what they did is these engineers have come up with...
They went, you know what? You know what's not crazy enough? Helicopters and trucks.
That's not it.
Can we come up with something a little more insane than that?
An engineer sat his son down with Legos and Tonka trucks and said, Timmy, how would you solve this salmon issue? And then the ramp takes the salmon and shoots it out a tube at 22 miles an hour, 40 salmon a minute.
That's amazing. Can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah.
Is this the greatest thing ever or the most terrifying thing ever? Is this the canonification of everything that we have to do as Americans? Is this, hey, how do we fix the salmon problem? Have you tried turning it into a gun? We could turn it into a gun.
Yeah, okay, Steve. I'm just going to say once again, no matter how many times you watch Transformers, things just can't turn into guns.
But 4 movies kind of tell you that they can.
Look, you know what? Fuck it. I am so tired of this. It's a government job anyway. I don't have to care.
That's right. Let's do the gun thing.
Let's do the gun thing,
Yeah,
Steve.
turn it into a gun.
Yeah. I have all your requisition forms here. It sounds like you are going to turn fish into guns.
Yeah, 40 fish per minute shooting out across the vastness of space into higher on the stream. That's kind of our plan.
You know, I wasn't convinced until you mentioned the vastness of space.
That is it sound sciencey.
That is some beautiful prose. And I'm going to approve $300,000 to build your Santa can. I don't know if that's how much it costs, but this thing, if you look at it, it's basically just like a wobbly tube. It's like those air conditioning duct tubes that you would, but they would sell them. You remember they would sell them at toy stores, and kids would spin them around. And they would be like, woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Shove a salmon into that, and then put some pressure behind it.
Right.
And then it's so crazy. You're watching this video.
It goes, boop.
And you have to wonder, like, for a brief moment, are the salmon frightened or...
It's the greatest day of their lives!
Yeah, is this the moment?
Finally free! Finally they've achieved all their dreams!
This is what it's like! You guys, I'm never going back to the water again. Sploosh. It's like the salmon equivalent of an astronaut going to space and coming back to Earth and having to fill out paperwork.
Exactly.
It's just like, all right, I guess...
I lived for one... glorious moment I lived.
The salmon's just always looking up from then on. It was like, I was there.
Think of how much more delicious that salmon's going to taste now that it experienced such joy.
There's nothing that tastes better than food that had dreams. Like, you can really taste when food had, like, a higher purpose. And that's why I like to eat humans. That's why I eat human
flesh. How many times do we have to
flesh.
talk about this? Do not eat humans, Anthony.
Or eat human flesh.
Do you think those same 2 salmon that were pissed about the helicopter guy are like, fuck you, helicopter guy!
Finally, all those salmon that couldn't get to seas out there like, thunk. Hey, Sally, what up now?
Yeah.
I'm a flying salmon.
Oh.
Sally, what? This helicopter's expensive. I thought you liked being in the helicopter. I'm sorry, Roger.
Yeah. I don't need your helicopter anymore, Roger.
Not all salmon women are this petty. I feel like we're painting a bad image of female salmon.
Are we being sexist towards
We're being a little
women?
salmon sexist, and I don't feel good about that. That's not who we are.
We're better than that.
Yeah, that's not what we do in service of a joke, of a stupid joke. Well, I apologize to all salmon females everywhere, and salmon that identify as female. So this was something that was meant to distribute fruit.
Originally?
This was a fruit distribution system.
What?
Which is hilarious because
how do you
that
distribute
makes it,
fruit at 40 fruit per second?
I just picture the Muppets audience throwing vegetables at Fozzie Bear. I don't understand how this pneumatic tube could launch fruit.
Are you sure it wasn't originally designed to deliver T-shirts?
It was.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for salmon!
No!
Oh, who wants a salmon?
No, nobody wants it. Ow!
Yeah, right in the front row.
No! These fish are like 50 pounds. Salmon are huge.
We got more where that came from.
No!
Y'all ready for this?
I just wanted a shirt or a hat or something.
Yeah, salmon for everybody.
They actually do that at Florida Marlins games.
Ho.
Ho. Hey-o.
Yeah, that's yours.
That's my
your
dad
one.
joke. That's my dad joke for that. I'm just going to mark that down.
We broke the system.
We totally broke
how
nature.
Fish work.
Yeah.
We broke nature. Well said. And then the way we fixed it is to turn them into ammunition.
Yeah.
there's something inherently, as awesome as this sounds.
I mean, and listen, sounds pretty awesome.
Sounds really awesome. But
I want to, and what's funny is like
conceptually,
the way they load this thing. They showed like a guy running up a stairwell holding a single giant salmon. Like it seems really inefficient. And I don't know if it's just because it's a test system right now, or if that's the future. Like that's what it's doing. This dude like ran it up 3 flights of stairs and just loaded it one at a time onto a tube, like some World War II movie of loading artillery shells.
But the thing they didn't say is that's a volunteer position. That guy doesn't even get paid. He's just having so much fun.
I'd like to feel like he at least gets college credit. He's like an environmental studies student. He's like, I thought I was going to be helping nature. You are. Now load that gun.
You got 39 more to go, buddy. But conceptually, it does disturb me ever so slightly.
Sure. I mean, because it never occurred to us to figure out a more efficient way to block the water or to channel the fish through while still blocking the water. Like, it never occurred to us to fix that part of the system.
Just gun it.
It just seems like it would be really, really expensive to fix our horrible, thoughtless mistakes about nature.
Yeah.
We're not going to try to retrieve the nuclear waste we dumped into the ocean for 50 years. We're just going to slow down.
Yeah.
Like it's that sort of environmental decision, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's the equivalent of, hey, everyone, there's a hole in the sky. Just use less Aquanet if you can. If you can.
I don't have to stop.
You don't have to stop using Aquanet.
Because my hair looked good.
Listen, man, you are rocking a flock of seagulls cut like nobody's ever had before.
I'm bringing it back single-handedly. Here's the bad news. Many, many flocks of seagulls have died because of this. Irony. Oh, man, it's so good, though. So good.
That's really, you're just still going, huh?
Yeah.
How many cans do you use every morning?
14. Just 14.
Just breaking chunks of your hair off and using it to pin things to bulletin boards.
The good news
Memo.
The good news is I get new cans of Aquanet from this pneumatic tube that shoots them at me.
No!
Oh, why?
Here's the other thing. You have to understand that when salmon spawn, they pretty much die.
Is that so?
Yeah, they spawn and they
Didn't
die.
know that.
Like most of them, they spawn. They mate
Story
once.
gets sad now.
They mate once and then they die. But they have these giant litters. I don't know what it's called when a fish has litters.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with litter.
Litters. I'm just picturing puppy face salmon now. But they have these giant. They breed once and then they kind of die. And so it's like, dude, if I had to choose a way to die, being shot out of a cannon into the sky is pretty much number 3.
Well, it's shot out of a cannon into the sky, followed immediately by sexual relations.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
That's pretty cool.
That's a good day.
Like, I don't want to get too Brock about this, but if I have to get, like, if I'm going to die,
now you're a Brock.
that's kind of the Brock life.
There you go.
And I'm kind of like, all right, Brock life, I can get down.
Do you think this is adaptable to humans? Can we make an inverse water slide that I can ride on?
All I want is to be shot out of a cannon, honestly. Like, the more I think about this, the more I think, like, I think from the time I was a child, I have wanted to be shot out of a cannon. I feel like I saw a cartoon with a human cannonball or something like that, but I'm being deadly serious right now.
Really?
I think it's always been a dream of mine to be shot out of a cannon.
This is not something I would think you would say.
I know, but can you imagine it?
Oh, I imagine it. Would you wear the cape? If you say no, I'm going to leave this room right now.
Well, now I'm picturing a guy affixing a tiny cape to each salmon. And I feel like, yeah, salmon.
Another volunteer position.
That's phenomenal. I would volunteer for that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would also be like, okay, how large a thing can we shoot out of this?
Exactly.
At the end of my semester, after I have my college credit, hand me my degree, load me in the tube, job market the way that it is, especially for environmental scientists. Just launch me out. I can hold my degree over my head. Fly for 15 seconds with a cape on, and then just die in a river. I don't think this was originally built for fruit transportation or to save salmon. I think this is just because if you ever know any engineers, they like to sit in a room and come up with the craziest, most destructive bullshit just to see if it'll work.
So you think that this salmon cannon is a Trojan horse for fun?
It's a Trojan salmon. Yes. I think this was invented as a party game by a bunch of drunk engineers who were just like, how big a thing can we get to launch out of a pneumatic tube with very little equipment?
And the one sober guy walks in and goes, hey, guys, you could sell this idea.
Thunk.
Oh, man, why'd you have to shoot that salmon at me?
Yeah, I think whether they just had a salmon coincidentally at the party, like a gigantic salmon, and they just looked at the two.
Yeah. Salmon, cannon. Salmon, cannon.
Does anybody know anybody at the Department of Water and Power? I think I'm about to solve their problems. I like this, though. I like when silly things are the answer. It's nice when silly things are the answer.
It's the best.
You know, you hate hearing like, oh, well, we found a much more efficient way to do this. How? We just changed the voltage on the traffic lights, and now the traffic lights are 30% more efficient. Oh, okay, good.
Right.
Good for you. And that's probably like a more complicated engineering feat.
Yeah, it requires some study.
Yeah.
And not some like, cannon it up!
Yeah. We didn't have to replace a single traffic light, but all the traffic lights run 30% more efficient. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But we don't care. I like it when it's a Rube Goldberg machine. I like a Warner Brothers answer. I want to know that Chuck Jones was just sketching something out in the room, just like this is how a coyote would solve it.
Exactly.
So let's do it this way.
Coyotes love salmon cannons.
I just wish we had an entire world that was full of, like, I just want, like, silly contraptions as the answer to everything.
I want Wallace and Gromit to be our top scientists.
That's when you say top men, I picture some Aardman claymation idiot just like building the weird auto trousers.
Yeah.
Auto trousers should be the bar for every advancement from now on. The problem with Elon Musk.
Oh,
and all of his, there's a problem with Elon
Musk.
Musk.
Listen up, Musk.
Listen, Musk.
We know you're a listener.
You idiot. You dummy.
Please donate to our Patreon.
Hey, if you would just give
just like
$1 million. So, no, the problem with Elon Musk is that all of his solutions are simple and they make sense. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I wish that
they're elegant.
I do like his tube to send people back and forth across the world.
Right.
That's close enough.
That's kind of human salmon tube.
It's kind of human salmon tube. When I think about it's a thing. It's like it's kind of like pneumatic mail tubes in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
You know, in office buildings, it's kind of like sending people through inter-office mail.
Right.
And we're sending inter-office salmon up the coastline. I mean, like just I got to get this salmon out by 3.
Hey, Harvey, did you get the salmon I sent you?
I did. I had a couple questions.
Could you just send it back inside the salmon?
I'm just going to put this USB thumb drive inside a salmon.
Sweet.
And just also, we're 3 feet away from each other.
Yeah, I know. I only want to use salmon.
Love these tubes! Best office! I would take a 20% pay cut at any office that I worked at.
If I was your only position.
If I was down to 2 different companies that had offered me jobs, same position, one paid 20% less, but it had pneumatic tubes in the building to send paper around, like it was some old office building.
Yeah.
I would work there.
Are you old enough to remember going to like a bank drive-up teller
Yes,
window
with the pneumatic tube,
and you put your personal money, your belongings that mean the most to you, inside a tube? Like your checking account, your checkbook.
Yeah. You
stick it in the tube and it goes, boom.
Your mom sends thousands of dollars through that tube, and then 2 lollipops come back out. And I gotta tell you, man, I was a pretty smart kid, but I felt like we were getting screwed giving up that much money for 2 lollipops. And I remember expressing that to my mother, where I was just like, you gave them all my birthday money from grandma, and they gave me 2 lollipops. I could have bought all the lollipops I wanted. And she's like, I'm going to explain how banks work to you, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. I think it's unequivocal that ATMs are a step backwards.
They're a step backward. And that's the thing. There's not enough whimsy in day-to-day life. That's why I like things that are sold on infomercials. Things like slap chops. Like I own a slap chop.
Right.
I own a magic bullet blender. I'm a sucker for late night infomercial strange inventions because they all feel like they were made by Wile E. Coyote.
It really is the last place that you can find whimsy sold to you like that. It really is a place where those ideas live. Because like people go, yeah, I want that in my life.
Well, because most things now are solved by, you can put like a generic microprocessor into a device.
Right.
And it becomes the device that solves your daily issue.
Right. We don't have Arduino on late night infomercials.
Right. And I do like, there are some things that mix the two very interestingly. Like I saw a sous vide cooker that's controlled by your iPhone.
Oh.
Like there's an app, so you're just like, you start making your salmon, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
In the morning.
Love
you
it.
put a salmon steak in a bag and you put it in the water. And you go, I'll be back at 6. And I want this salmon perfect. Beep, boop, pop. And then you can check in on your salmon throughout the day through the app to see how it's going. You're like, oh, I'm going to be a little late, so I'm just going to change that to 7, and then it like slows down the process. And like, that's the future. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Because that's a dumb physical thing that's also controlled with the phone that I love more than any person in my life.
But there is a limit, because I've definitely seen all the crazy CES devices like the washing machine that's controlled by your phone.
That's dumb. There's no need for that. A washing machine just needs the time that a washing machine needs.
And then you get done with it. Why would you want to start it via phone?
When it's done, it beeps, and you're probably not miles away from your washing machine when it's done.
Right.
Like, you need your phone to be like, hey, man, laundry's done. Oh, crap. I'm on an international flight.
Yeah, I know the laundry's
and
done.
I didn't
I've been
bring
sitting
any clothes.
Here in my dirty underwear for the last 2 hours with nothing else to wear. Thanks for nothing, phone.
I'm sitting sweaty in a laundromat reading a book that I've read 3 times because they don't have Wi-Fi. I know that the laundry's done, you asshole. There's a limit to whimsy becomes uselessness.
Yeah.
You know?
But no, I agree with you. I love the whimsy inside things. And if we ruled the world, if we have concerns, own the world.
And there's a good fucking reason we don't. And it's about to come out of your mouth.
All things would be like that. We live inside Pee-wee's Playhouse is what it would be. Everything would be connected to something else via Rube Goldberg or the wrestler Goldberg. Really, any Goldberg would work in my vision of the world.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg could have a say. I think it would be a complete Goldberg-based universe.
Instead of backed on gold or standard.
No,
like,
not gold. Goldbergs.
Goldbergs. Forget the gold standard. It's the Goldberg standard. Thinking about this, I would love to hear from people their favorite little gadget or toy in their life that isn't like a digital camera or a phone, just like a weird thing that you own, like my slap chop. Because I fucking love my slap chop irrationally. Really? Dude, I fucking love my slap chop. I will show you how I make things with my slap chop.
What
it's
do you
amazing.
chop in your slap chop?
Veggies, hard-boiled eggs.
Really?
Like, I don't want to go into the whole pitch, but slap chop is the jam.
All right, but wow.
Do you have something that you...
that I bought off an infomercial?
Or just some weird...
I mean, I love my George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
It goes both sides at once, bro.
That's crazy. Those sandwich grills are the best.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, if you guys have any weird thing like that, it doesn't have to be food related, but
it's almost lunchtime for us, so
let us know on Twitter. We're at @Carboni
and at Jeff Canada.
And if you have any ideas for stories, if you've seen anything like the salmon cannon or something that's a little more dreadful, it's fine. If you've seen any story that you want us to cover here on the show, send it to wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com. And hey, seriously, check out this Patreon.
Yeah, man. Why not just take a moment, go over to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns and just give it a little perusal.
You know, look, we're not
a little video.
We're not gonna muscle. We're not gonna muscle you. We're not gonna push you. We're not gonna
shoot you out of a cannon.
But give us some money, or I'll shoot you out of a fucking cannon.
He's not joking.
I am desperate.